Every time I come back to Missouri, it's like hunting on the home turf, and this farm especially is like home turf. I love hunting whitetail deer in the state of Missouri.
Here comes a deer right there. Pretty good buck.
A pretty good buck in Missouri might just be a monster anywhere else, as host Alan Treadwell may be about to find out on Winchester's Whitetail Revolution.
That's a good deer. He's a shooter. All right, he's gonna stop right before he gets to the timber. I'm not gonna shoot him.
Winchester's Whitetail Revolution is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American Legend, Code Blue, perfecting the science of hunting, Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work, Redfield, the soul of the American hunter, and by Browning, the best there is.
This is a really exciting hunt for me because growing up in Missouri, I love hunting whitetail deer in the state of Missouri.
Right there, coming out of the woods, big buck.
To be there, to see the deer, to see it coming in, you see things that very few people ever get to experience.
There's a bunch of does out in that field right there. Bunch of does out there eating clover in that food plot. That many does out there, there'll be a buck coming here after a while. Right there he comes, out of that back corner. That's just a little guy, little young 8-pointer. And he's got potential.
As an Olympic skeet shooter, Treadwell may have broken a lot of clay birds. But it's hard to match the excitement of whitetail, especially in his home state of Missouri, with old friend Donald Thompson of Square T Ranch near Springfield.
This hunt's with a good friend of mine, Don Thompson. He's got a farm up in middle Missouri, about 1,500 acres, and come up and he's got a house up here, all the equipment that you need to put out food plots and to chase deer. And I just love coming out here and hanging out with his family. And even better, we get to get out there and put out some food plots, check the game cameras, and kill some of the deer.
When I bought this property, basically my goal was to improve the wildlife habitat to the point where the deer would stay on my property and would not want to leave. Through years and years of hard work, clearing land with putting in food plots and declaring some areas to be sanctuaries in order to try and keep the deer within my property is what I've done to make my place the best that it can be.
You know, on a hunt like this, it's not necessarily about killing the biggest deer in the woods as much as it is about being around good friends and family and having a lot of fun. This farm right here has got a lot of deer in that 140 to 160 range. That's the caliber of deer that we're after. When we go out there and have some fun with some friends and see some good deer and hopefully get one down at the end of the week, then it's going to be a successful trip.
Well, the bad news is my throat's been going in and out. You guys are gonna have to bear with me. But the good news is it's November, the deer are on the move, and I'm going to a great friend of mine's property in southwest Missouri. Hey Don, what's going on?
Hey Alan, welcome back. Welcome back, man.
You know, unfortunately this week we could be in some trouble with the weather. The extended forecast looks like it could rain for 3 or 4 days of our hunt. You know, we have 4 days to kill, and I'm thinking at least 3 of the days we're going to be stuck with rain. So we're going to have some weather conditions to overcome.
Weather's going to be tough this week.
That's what I see. It's supposed to do this all week, isn't it?
It sure is.
I'll tell you what, well, the good news is the deer are here and it's November, so.
Got lots of bucks running around. I've picked out some good places for us to check out.
I can't wait. Let me flip out of the way and we'll carry my stuff in.
All righty.
I've got a little field just up here I'm gonna go find me a tree and sit against it and watch it for a little bit. One thing that I always do when I'm hunting, when I'm gonna sit for a spot in a little while, rake the leaves away from the tree. A lot of times it sounds like a deer making a scrape or something. I don't think anything about it, a squirrel playing in the leaves. But this way, if I have to move just a little bit, I can move quiet. I like this spot right here. This big old pretty bottom. Tucked back in the brush just a little ways, but I still got great visibility of the field. There's some deer right there. Got some does out in the field. These does are still coming to the food plots. When they get out in this open, they get nervous and edgy because they know the bucks are coming to find them. They're constantly looking around, waiting for a buck to come out and harass them. Here comes a deer. That's a buck. Good buck coming out right here. Good buck. He's definitely a mature buck. Big old thick barrel chested. I want to get a better look at him. Oh, I think I'm gonna pass him. That's a great deer, but it's only the second day of our hunt. I may regret it, but I'm gonna let that deer go. Let's just enjoy him. It's not every day you get to watch a 4.5-year-old 8-pointer of that size. Boy, that's a great deer. But the thing about it is that deer in another year could put on up to 15 inches of horn. I knew there'd be a good buck use this field. And I may regret not shooting him, but it was awful fun to watch him out in that field. I got a couple other places in mind. Let's go check them out.
As we continued on with our hunt, we kept seeing good deer and a lot of does and chasing activity, red activity that you would expect to see in Missouri in the middle of November.
Here comes a deer running right here. It's a buck. It's a 10-pointer. I know that deer too. That's a good young 10-pointer. That's the deer we do not want to shoot. That is a great young deer. That's the kind of deer that you want in this place right there. Have that dude at 2.5 years old. He's just out running around, cruising, looking for does. I hope he finds some, because I'd love to have him breeding on this property. I'm glad to see he made it through opening weekend. Right there, coming out of the woods, big buck. That's a good deer.
Treadwell has let small deer get by. Now he'll learn if that's the right decision on Winchester's Whitetail Revolution. Host Alan Treadwell has been looking at plenty of Missouri bucks on his friend's ranch, but Mike Hanbeck knows of one hunter whose buck of a lifetime proved to be not a buck at all.
Justin Groves and Aaron Cantrell are good friends who own a farm in southern Illinois. One day last summer, they checked their trail cams and found a photo of a non-typical, very abnormal buck. Later that summer, they saw the deer and studied it closely. They couldn't believe it. It was a doe with antlers. In December, that oddball deer stepped out into a food plot, and Aaron dropped it with a perfect shot. Field dressing the animal, they found no injuries or anything. So how rare is an antlered doe? They checked with some of the country's top deer biologists. While no scientist can say for certain, the number 1 in 10,000 keeps popping up. It's very, very rare indeed, making this animal the doe of a lifetime for sure.
Learn more about Mike Hanbeck's bucks of a lifetime at versus.com.
This place place is pretty unique because Don got this place several years ago. When he first got it, it had been overhunted. You know, the bucks were small, and over several years of managing and coming in and clearing out timber areas and putting in food plots and putting in good food plots and game management, and the quality of deer just goes up every year after year after year.
I think the deer numbers on my property are excellent, and I don't believe that comes accidentally. The three main keys to deer hunting success and deer management success are food, water, and cover. And I believe that about 85% of that formula is food. Food is what keeps the does there. Food is what keeps the bucks around.
You know, we've had an awesome hunt so far, and as it goes on, the rut just seems to keep getting more in depth and more in depth, and the bigger bucks are starting to chase does. It started out early in the week that the small bucks were out doing the check-in. Now the bigger bucks are out doing the check-in, you know, so it's getting further along, and these big deer are up on their feet and moving, so it's just a matter of time before we kill something big.
There's does out on that ridge right now, feeding out there. This time of year, with the does out there like that, there's got to be a buck around close. Right there, coming out of the woods, big buck. He's a shooter. I gotta get over to a tree to get a rest. That's a good deer. All right, he's coming right at us. He's quartering to me. He's gonna work down that timber line. I'm gonna get a shot.
Once that deer disappeared down in the low spot, I knew it was just a matter of time before he'd come back out right there in front of us. And he never did, and we sat there and waited for almost a half an hour, knowing that he should have come out by now if he was going to. And when he didn't come out, you know, it was time to get back up on our feet and go try to find another deer somewhere else.
He's obviously ducked back in that timber, or he'd have been out. Oh well, he was a good buck, that was exciting.
You know, watching this hunt, if you could learn one thing from it, it's the fact of pre-season scouting, early season scouting. Get out there, get some truck cameras, put them up, know the deer that are on your place and know what to expect so that you know what a good mature shooter is, what you know what a big buck is, because it's going to be different every place you go. So, you know, while we were out there, you never know what deer is going to show up during the rut. If a good mature great buck would have showed up, by all means we would have put him down. But we had a hit list of deer that we were after, and that's where trail cameras really come into play, and they allow you to be more patient, allow you to be a better hunter, and allow you to pass young 2.5, 3.5-year-old deer to get to those mature deer because you know they're there.
This is absolutely amazing walking through these leaves right now, not making a sound. There's an old grown-up brushy field up here on top, and we're gonna get up here just where I can see it and sit down and watch it just for a little bit. This old brushy field right here is awesome because there's timber on both sides of it, and the deer can cross it. They don't feel exposed because it's grown up. It's the type of place that you'd see a big buck come out of. There comes a deer right there. He's got horns. Pretty good buck. He's definitely not a shooter, but I'm gonna have some fun with him. I'm gonna see what these deer will do. Here he comes. He's gonna try to circle down here below us and get our wind. He knows he should be able to see a deer. He's gonna win this anytime right there. There he goes. Man, was that awesome or what? We come out here and seen this buck, and I knew this buck because I'd seen several pictures of him, and he's just a 3.5-year-old 10-pointer. He needs another year on him. I'm gonna put everything up, pack up, and go try another spot.
We really hunted hard and we battled the conditions, the rain and the weather that came in.
It's a good deer. He's a shooter. He's gonna stop right before he gets to the timber. That's when I'm gonna shoot him.
Winchester's Whitetail Revolution is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American Legend, Code Blue, perfecting the science of hunting, Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work, Redfield, the soul of the American hunter, and by Browning, the best there is.
I kind of hate to admit it, but Don and I met on eharmony.com. Lonely hunter looking for landowner, and we've been together ever since, and it's been a wonderful relationship, I must admit.
Well, after I received Alan's email on eHarmony, I was very happy to make his acquaintance. We've had Alan out here several times, and he comes out during the off season. He comes out during the springtime to turkey hunt.
So the biggest surprise of this hunt was just that the rain just came in and stayed and stayed and stayed and constantly pounded us all week. And we had moments where the showers would clear up and the deer would go to move. And those were the situations that we really had to capitalize on. When the rain quit, we really got on the ball and really tried to find a deer because those deer were up on their feet and moving.
Right up over this rise right here, Don's got a food plot planted. I'm gonna slip up there and see if I can see anything out in it.
We really hunted hard and we battled the conditions, the rain and the weather that came in. But the last evening of the hunt, as it always happens, one of the bucks that we had on our hit list comes out, the devil buck comes out, and when he comes out, I see those brows stuck off to the side, and I said, that's our deer. That's him right there.
There's a buck out there with them does. That's a good deer. That's the devil buck. He's a shooter. It's him, that's definitely a devil buck. I can see his brows laid off to the side. Alright, he's gonna work back down that field. Here he goes, headed towards them two spikes that are fighting right there. He's gonna stop right before he gets to the timber. One last time, he's gonna stop. That's when I'm gonna shoot him. Oh yeah, he's hit hard. He's hit hard. He's not gonna make it far. That's a good deer. That's the devil, baby. I smoked him. He went in here somewhere. I marked him just this side of that little hump right there somewhere. Right there's a white rump showing. There he is. Oh yeah, he's down. Let me get this thing unloaded. Whew. What a deer. What a Southwest Missouri whitetail I have right here. This is the devil buck. Look at these brows, how they peel off to the side like that. Look like little devil horns. That was one of the deer on the hit list. Man, I love hunting this country. This is what I grew up hunting. I live in Southwest Missouri. I'm hunting Southwest Missouri. These rolling hills, acorn trees everywhere, fescue fields that we plowed up.
put some food plots in, got good clover food plots. What a great deer. Don's gonna be proud of this guy. Got a name, got him out of the herd. What a great mature buck. I can't wait to get it back and show him to Don. Harvesting this buck was a small part of the actual experience of this entire trip. You know, coming up here and being with my good friend Don, his family, we had a great time and sitting there and playing with Bo and just having a blast with the family. And you know, what an awesome hunt to be up with good friends on a wonderful piece of property where you can go out and see deer every time you go set, and it just absolutely couldn't have been any better.
All whitetail, all the time.
Take him out. Take him.
On Versus.com and Versus On Demand.